Spiritual Gumbo, Agar the Egyptian. So, before we get too carried away, we're gonna do a quick rundown. Abraham, in his last episode, rescues his nephew Lot. Right after he rescues him, a very peculiar happening takes place with Melchizedek, king of Salem, and we don't have the exact time right now, but during the next review, I'm going to break down everything. There's going to be a similar happening that takes place with Agar the Egyptian. We're going to get to break everything down, so just bear with me while I call it out for what it is. Or don't call it out. After Abram rescues Lot, or back to Melchizedek, Abram refuses to take any kind of gifts from this king. With that said, Abram says, yo, he's asking God, you know what I mean? How do I know that I'm going to be somebody, pretty much? Because I don't have my own heir. I don't have my own children. Most High says, you believe in me? He says it through the Lord, his Messiah. But he's pretty much, this is his messenger. I mean, you guys got to understand. It makes it very clear in the book of Enoch that the anointed one, the righteous one, the holy one, is right up under the Most High. He is very powerful. He rests under the Most High, literally. However, he reminds Abraham exactly how it is that he got there. I took you from your own people, the Chaldeans. Right? No need to tell Abraham he's a Chaldean. Abraham knows that. Gives him this vision. Shows him his people being humbled in a nation. But then tells Abraham about a hostile takeover that his people will eventually have not only attempted and accomplished at one point, but obviously shall take place again going forth. Now we're at a very crucial junction. Verse 1 of chapter 16. And Sarah, the wife of Abraham, bore him no children, and she had an Egyptian maid, whose name was Agar. And Sarah said to Abraham, behold, the Lord has restrained me from bearing. Go therefore unto my maid, that I may get children for myself through her. And Abraham hearkened to the voice of Sarah. So Sarah, the wife of Abraham, having taken Agar the Egyptian, her handmaid, after Abraham had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, gave her to Abraham her husband as a wife to him. So she wasn't just a concubine, she gave him to him as a wife. And he went into Agar, and she conceived, and saw that she was with child, and her mistress was dishonored before her. And Sarah said to Abraham, I am injured by thee. I gave my handmaid into thy bosom, and when I saw that she was with child, I was dishonored before thee. The Lord judge between me and thee. And Abraham said to Sarah, behold, thy handmaid is in thy hands. Use her as it may seem good to thee. And Sarah afflicted her, and she fled from her face. Pause right there. Okay, a lot of stuff just took place. So it tells us that Sarah has not had children, right? And that they've been in Canaan since Lot has apparently departed from them, and they're in the land of Canaan. And so Agar the Egyptian, her handmaid, Sarah gives her to Abraham. Now the issue with this is that this does go back to what happened in Egypt, okay? And it also, Sarah doubled down on being double-hearted in her attempt to feel like, well, I believe in the Most High, but man, he ain't about to give me no baby at this age, right? So she really didn't believe. going forth. In this moment, it says that Sarah is injured. Now, why would she be injured other than the fact that she believed that Abraham himself could not have children? Now, or maybe she thought that, or maybe she knew that it was her pH, whatever, was off. Now, what's more amazing about this than everything is that I could contend that Abraham was not able to produce enough seed to get Sarah pregnant, and she was sterile at that. No other nation practiced circumcision before Abraham. This being said, the ability for her to get pregnant from someone who's uncircumcised may have just been totally rendered obsolete, but we're not going to get into that. What we will say is this. In this moment, Sarah, or Sarah, soon to be, has chosen to afflict Agar the Egyptian. Now this is before the affliction of the Egyptian on the children of Israel. Keep that in mind. Verse 7, or verse 6 in the middle of it. And Sarah afflicted her, and she fled from her face. Let's talk about Agar. And an angel of the Lord found her by the fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain, in the way to Sur. And the angel of the Lord said to her, Agar, Sarah's maid, whence comest thou, and whither goest thou? And she said, I am fleeing the face of my mistress, Sarah. And the angel of the Lord said to her, return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of the Lord said to her, I will surely multiply thy seed, and it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said to her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, for the Lord hath hearkened to thy humiliation. He shall be a wild man, his hands against all, and all the hands of all against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And she called, listen, this is a deep part. And she called the name of the Lord God who spoke to her, Thou art God who seest me. For she said, For I have openly seen him that appeared to me. Stop right there. This woman is an Egyptian. She don't know what the Most High God looked like. She just seen an angel and assumed the angel was the Most High God. But it's considered righteousness apparently on some level, because right here when it says, and she called on the name of the Lord God, right? It says Lord God. So, but I can contend and will contend that she's an Egyptian calling on the name of what she believes is her God. But in her heart, she's trying to speak to the Most High. And the reason why I can say this is because if she's a real Egyptian, then she's an Adamite. And there's no way that she doesn't have the connection that a real Japhetite or a real Semite would have to the Most High God, being that they are from the seed of Adam, being that they are children of Seth. Thank you very much. Now, having said that, we're going to keep going, and we're going to read. Verse 14. Therefore she called the well of him who I have openly seen. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Barat. And Agar bore a son to Abraham. And Abraham called the name of his son, which Agar bore to him, Ishmael. And Abraham was 86 years old when Agar bore Ishmael to Abraham. And Abraham was 99 years old when the Lord appeared to him. This is 13 years later. And said to him, I am thy God. Be well pleasing before me, and be blameless. Now stop right there. In this next batch and going forward, I'm going to break down what has confused so many people for so many years. I won't skip forward just yet, but I will give you the prelude that in the book of the Exodus, there's a moment where the Most High God tells Moses, or the Lord, excuse me, tells Moses that he's going to make him a god to Pharaoh. And the brother Ben Judah, way across the seas in the UK, who used to always harp on this, is more relevant now than any other time. And I just had to put that forth so that way we know what we're getting into going forward. Um, the Lord is the vessel which the Most High God uses to do His bidding. Know that. And there are other high level angels, but we're just going to speak on the Messiah in particular. Man. Anyway, spiritual gumbo.